times than him, but he's been hit a lot. How much has that really kind of disrupted the flow of the offense over this maybe the last 4 weeks?
I don't know, really. I don't know if it has or haven't. I think if you look at every quarterback in this league, I think the guys that got their hand in the ground are really good, so week in and week out, you try to prevent sacks, and sometimes in that process, he's able to get the ball off and get hit in that process. So it's just really what you're up against week in and week out. Sometimes you're up against really good defensive lines of where ain't no pocket holding up a long time. So you try to get the ball out your hand, get completions, and you try to prevent those because eventually those things will add up for any quarterback, but you try to prevent them as much as possible with the understanding we are playing football, and sometimes that happens.
Yeah, the word is to get to Brady is you got to kind of shake him up and hit him. Have you seen a lot of teams kind of coming with that attack, and does that make you want to tweak things when you see a pass rush like that?
Well, I think they're trying to hit every quarterback. I don't think they're picking out nobody specifically. I think as a defensive line, as a defense, you're trying to do what you can to get to the quarterback. So we're going to try our best to keep them as clean as possible week in and week out.
All right, we're going to go to Greg Allman.
Hey, Byron, I want to ask you about this Vikings defense. It seems like what they do best is the high leverage situations on third downs, in red zone, in goal to go. I want to ask you why you think they're tough there and how important that is in what could be a close game on Sunday.
Well, I think they're well coached. I think Coach Zim do a great job of putting these guys in position. I think they got a great system. Played against these guys before. They do a lot of good things, a lot of different things. Being in the division with Zimmer when he was with Cincinnati, being when I was at Pittsburgh, it's very similar. So knowing him, knowing that they're well coached, knowing that he's probably hopping on third downs and red zones, because those are the things where you can win and lose football games, those situational football plays. So I bring it down to those guys being well coached, those guys having an understanding of what they're trying to do on third down and in the red zone. So we got to be prepared and ready to roll.
Thanks, Byron.
All right, we'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, at this point of the season, when you've got 4 games left and you're vying for a postseason spot, how important is it as an offense, especially with so many new pieces, is it for you to have a clear-cut identity or a clear idea of who it is you are and what you do best?
I think we understand that. In this building, I think we understand what we are, who we are. What we're trying to do is win football games, really. We got to do what we got to do to win football games, whatever that entails, whatever we feel as though is best for us to win football games and do that, we'll try to do. We understand that it's December. You always want to be playing good football in all phases, really, in December, getting ready to, if you have an opportunity to get to the tournament. So that's our mindset, really, Jenna, is just doing the things we think we need to do best to help us win football games.
And I had asked Coach Arians what he felt the identity of this team was, and he said it was the ability to basically be multiple, and I'm paraphrasing it, but just the ability to do a lot of different things with a lot of different guys. Would you agree with that? I mean, like, how do you see it from your vantage point?
I've been saying that all year. Really, we just got to be – I don't think you can win games consistently one way in this league. I believe the more multiple you can be and have different ways of winning football games or different ways of playing football, especially from the offensive side, it always helps you because you have – I mean, the opponent is different week in and week out. Sometimes it's just different week in and week out. So you want to have the ability, and sometimes with the players that we have, it allows us to do different things that maybe some teams can't do.
Do you ever run the risk of when you are so multiple of maybe not being as consistent or in certain areas, or you worry about guys making mistakes because they're not maybe doing the same type of thing week to week to week to week, especially with the new roster?
Yeah, but we are. If we wasn't doing those things you could be multiple and not do different stuff week in and week out. So.
All right, we'll go Rick Stroud.
Hey, Byron, I wanted to ask you about play action because that's something that Tom excels at. I think he's second in the league in yards per play when you use it, but only 2 teams have used it less than you guys. Why is that?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Like I tell you, we do what we feel as though we need to do to win the football game. We're not trying to do what everybody else do or what some other teams do best. We're trying to do what's best for our players. We understand how good we're at play action, but it all comes down to being able to run the ball consistently week in and week out. And if you can do that week in and week out, obviously that always helps your play action game. And obviously we can be better at getting more attempts up, but it all starts with the run game. We got to do a better job of running the ball consistently so we can consistently call play actions. That's really the name of it. That's really what it is. Things we worked on this while we had this time off, and we'll see. We'll try to play our best football this month and see where that gets us.
And I wanted to ask you, there's not a better December, January player in NFL history, right, than Tom. You have a lot of guys that haven't been to the playoffs. You have many that have, but what does he impart to his teammates, and what is it about this time of year you think that he can share with your team?
Well, you always get everybody best in December. No matter what the record is, you're getting everybody best because teams are either getting ready for the tournament, they're trying to get into the tournament. So you're going to get everybody best week in and week out. And he understands that. And we got to do a good job of, clearing all the outside noise in December. When December come here, it's locked in focus, us doing what we need to do to win football games, us doing what we need to do to execute, play in and play out. And like you said, he's been the best, right, at it. So that helps. That helps, especially with so many guys not having the opportunity to play in the playoffs yet. So I think what he brings, the experience that he brings to our team helps us because it gives us a sense of comfort. We got a guy that's been there, done that in these type of situations, that he can help the guys that haven't been there, done that, move along in this process.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Byron. Harrison Smith's one of those players that you really have to account for, right? He can make plays back in cover two as a deep safety. He can also threaten you as a blitzer at the line of scrimmage. Is he really like a focal point of where you have to watch out for in terms of how you game plan?
Yeah, just playing against these guys, he's a focal point really every time you play these guys. He's a guy that will move around a lot. He'll be in a lot of different positions. You could tell the coaches trust in him with the ability, the range that they give him, the things that they ask him to do week in and week out. So he's a good football player, really good football player that we got to be ready for, a guy that you got to know where he's at on the field at all times.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to Joey Knight.
Byron, you've played in a lot of cold weather before, and obviously so has Tom. Do you think just playing in this climate in December for a change, this kind of weather will benefit him?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes. You can't beat this weather now. It's been cold the past few days, but it got a little hot out there today. He don't stop. He talks about that every day. It's something that he talks about every day. He talks about how good he feels, and that's just natural. Just being down here, the other day it got down to 50 and I was freezing, and I didn't feel as good as I normally would feel. So it's something that Tom talk about all the time. He just enjoyed this weather. It's something that every day he can't believe that it's like this down here, especially coming from up north.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to go to Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Byron, I know you're obviously can't tell us like the first couple plays you're going to do this game, but Bruce has talked repeatedly about these fast starts and that it's these manageable third downs, and that really what you guys have to do is be better on first and second down. So in broader terms, in regards to that, when you look at that and study what you guys have done thus far to get these faster starts, what do you need to do better on first and second downs at the start of these games to get things going?
Well, first is just making guys aware, right? Because we were really good at it the first half of the season. I think we probably one of the best teams in the league, and it's amazing how if you don't stay on things, things can change quick. That's the game of football, right? So it gave us an opportunity to look at it, look at the beginning of the year, look at why we're not doing as well early in ball games, and give us an opportunity to see what it was, to self-scout, and try to correct it. It really comes down to, like he said, just converting third downs early. You got to be able to convert third downs early. And if you don't, you're going to get to slow starts. So it's all about third down conversion, situational football, really. It's really a situational football thing that I believe we got to get better at.
We have time for a few more. We're going to go to John Romano.
Hey, Byron. Obviously, the ultimate goal for any offense is to put as many points on the board as possible. But how much does ball control figure into your mindset and your game planning, just in terms of keeping the other team's offense off the field?
All the time, really. All the time. And it's not that you're trying to keep the other team offense off the field. You're trying to do what's best for the team to win football games. And sometimes it's going to be running the football on first downs heavy. Sometimes it's not going to be that. Sometimes it's going to be throwing it on first down. So we just got to make sure, I got to make sure I just to finish this season out, I do a good enough job, a better job of putting us in positions to really just play the way we need to play to win football games, to control the ball, to play well, be good in situational footballs. Because in order to control the ball, right, you got to play well in situational footballs, third down, red zones. You got to not have negative plays. So as long as we can continue to do that, I feel fine about where we'll be at on our execution. Now we just got to go out and get it done.
And I'm sure you're confident in your offensive line, both running and passing. But if you were looking at this team from the outside looking in, would you say the offensive line is a better pass blocking than run blocking line?
I wouldn't say that. I just think we got a good offensive line up front. I wouldn't say that we do one more than the other. I think we've thrown it more than we ran it. So we've had more opportunities to pass block. But I wouldn't say that. I think we got 5 guys in front that's playing their tails off. And whatever we ask them to do, they'll find a way to get the job done. I just got to do a better job of putting these guys in position to get the job done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we have time for today. Thanks, Byron.
Okay, guys. Thank you.